So, as you progress through your course plan, I think this is a really great moment to pause and come back to this idea of intentional design. As you're designing your course, it is really easy to start thinking about all of those systems that are in play within your classroom. How much time you have in the classroom, how much time your students have to do the work, how much prep time you have, your delivery methods, your lessons and topics and subjects you're covering, how you're going to show your student success, all of these systems. And within that planning process, the element that we often exclude is ourselves as the instructors. So if we're really talking about learner-centered theories, as we go back to who our students are, rarely are our students the eager ones looking for more information and excited about the topic from the moment you step into the classroom physically or virtually. Rather, they're the ones who are often looking around with shock on their faces. Oh, this teacher has something relevant to me to share, especially when we talk about undergrad students. And so, as we're putting together the classroom, our expectations are that we have to draw them in somehow. They're not awaiting this. So we're building, and I know I've already talked about this, but we're building whatever bridges, stairs, vocabularies, levels of understanding, uh, any word that you use to fit how you're constructing your course. We're building something. Foundational knowledge, all of these things. However, our bridge or staircase, whatever, has to be inviting enough that students want to engage. So, as you are building, I want you to keep coming back to those moments of reflection, how you feel about the lesson, what works for you, because you are the important system. Yes, you need to take time for you. Yes, you need to think about yourself. We don't often do that in the working environment. However, in a classroom setting, the instructor is the most centrifugal force in the classroom. The instructor is the system that matters the most. And one of the elements that is often overlooked in that conversation is when we start moving teaching to what it should be today, this moment where students are engaged instead of just receiving information. What we're actually doing as instructors is inviting our students into more perceptive and sophisticated conversations. So I want you to take a moment and think about that word invite. We're inviting, we're asking them to join us in these conversations. We're asking them to move from receiver to participant in the information we're sharing. And that invitation requires increasing levels of familiarity, willingness to be vulnerable, perhaps. It requires you as the instructor to engage with your students. And as you're building your course plan, if you have it so full of information and so full of the workload on your side to share with your students that there isn't an ability to engage, then the students, then maybe our path is too obscure. Maybe we've covered it with too much stuff, we can hardly tell that it's still there. And I want you to stop at this point in the course plan and really come back to your intentions, what you want your students to achieve. And I'm not going to talk about practical tips right now. I'm going to talk about the essential aspect of the more familiar we are with ourselves, the more solid we are in our professional duties, the more structured we can be in the way that we engage and with our students and the way that we teach. because not only are we confident in our material, but we're confident in our level of how we're going to engage with the students. And that is really something key in your planning to keep coming back to. So we want you to think of your course plan as the environment. And that might be the big picture environment, uh, like the bridge to the sky, or the road path to the sun. That's what it's called at Glacier. Or the small environment, this moment, this lesson, this assignment, this one particular concept. Whatever that environment is, you are the author of it. Students are not just reading and having to do work. We want them to understand it and engage with us as the instructor. So you're creating that environment. And as you're doing your course plan, really think about what you want that environment to look like. If it doesn't feel great to you, why not? Who can help you make it great? What are tools that you can use? And we will get into tools, and those are things that there's a lot of support with, especially in the open community, lessons, ideas, things like that. But I really want you to take some time in the coming days before you proceed with your course plan to come back and think about your commitment to that environment and what you're contributing every lesson, every day, um, every part of your plan, what you have to contribute, and how you think